Hey guys, my name is Raul. Welcome. We're going to start off with the Urban Decay Naked Skin Foundation. We're going to go ahead and grab our beauty blender and get that nice and wet with some water. I'm going to go ahead and apply the foundation to the back of my hand, and we're going to get started. So I apply the foundation all over my face. Slowly work it in, dab it nice and gently. Make sure you get every part of your face. Okay, so we're going to need a little more. We're just going to go ahead and grab more foundation and squirt a little more, maybe like a pump or two on the back of her hand. And go ahead and fill the rest of those spots where we were missing foundation. Awesome. Next, I'm going to pick up the NARS concealer, and we're going to go ahead and continue on to highlighting. I'm also going to grab a concealer brush and go right in. We're going to conceal under the eyes in a triangle form. My triangle's not completely there, but you guys get the idea. We're going to go down the bridge of the nose, on top of the lip, and we missed a little there, so we're going to go back and then right on the center of the forehead. Okay, we're going to take our beauty sponge and continue to blend. We want to dab into place. We do not want to drag the product anywhere else from where we already set it. So small tiny dabs, and we're going to blend that out until we have no lines. Awesome. We're going to go ahead and pick up our BH Cosmetics Studio Pro contour palette. And we're going to go ahead and start the contours of our face. Once our contour is laid in, it's going to be our cheekbone, our nose, our perimeters of our face. So we're going to go ahead and take a buffing brush. Mine is a Morphe buffing brush. And we're going to go ahead and just dab the areas till it's well blended. Next, I'm going to pick up my Bare Minerals Mineral Veil Powder. It's Bare Minerals translucent powder, and we're going to set right under the eyes, and with the remainder of the powder on our sponge, we're just going to set the rest of our face. We're also going to pick up our Profusion Contour Palette and use it a little bit as bronzer just to set our contours of our face. Once the contours of our face are set, we're going to go and do the jawline. I do not do the jawline in cream because I do have a beard. When I don't have a beard, I do use cream. Alright, so this is where I realized that I forgot to put on primer, but it's okay. We're just going to move on to the brows. So I use Anastasia Beverly Hills Dipbrow Pomade in the shade dark brown. I underline under the brow as we start to shape the brow. Then I come up and do the top arch, connect those two, and then we fill in. Fill in as light or as dark as you feel possible. I put on my glasses for this part just to make sure that I'm getting the gradients that I like with my brow. Get that nice ombre and the deep tail. I use my spoolie to disperse the product evenly and keep that ombre effect. Diffuse until you feel that your brow is the way you want it. Next, I'm going to pick up my concealer brush and some of that NARS concealer again. We're going to go ahead and carve the brow. With the concealer, I'm going to go ahead and go under the brow and just conceal and carve nice and evenly. Once that is done, I'm going to pick up my Urban Decay foundation and clean the brush off a little bit. And we're going to go ahead and pick up the foundation and carve the top of the brow. Using foundation will keep us from drawing a line on our forehead, because when the foundation sets, we will go ahead and blend into our foundation color that we already had with no lines. Once that's done, I use my concealer brush to blend under the brow. I make sure it's nice and blended, and I pull it down onto the lid. And then we repeat the steps on the next brow. Voila. We're going to use our sponge just to make sure we have no harsh lines anywhere around the brows, and then we're going to go ahead and move on to the eyes. So we're going to go ahead and use the Morphe 350 palette, and that is a Morphe M411 brush that I will switch to a different brush. That one doesn't have a number. It's really old. I don't know what it is, but it's just a bigger fluffy blending brush. I'm taking a dark brown into my crease and just working that, blending it upwards. Get that nice and blended. Once that's nice and defined, we're going to go ahead and move on and grab our M411 again, and we're going to pick up some black eyeshadow. Before the black eyeshadow, we're going to pick up that taupey color just to make sure that the top of our brown, dark brown, is diffused. Make sure we have no harsh lines. I'm over here jumping ahead of myself, aren't I? Alright, so now we're going to pick up black shadow with our M411. And we're going to place that dark black shadow in the outer V of our eye. And we want to place it and blend it in place. We do not want to move it. Black gets away from us very easily, so just be very careful with that. We're going to pick up a pencil brush, and we're going to go in with that dark brown and put it onto our drop shadow. Once that dark brown is in there, we're going to pick up a little bit of black, and we're going to get closer to our lash line and just define that lower lash line with that black. Make sure everything's blended. I'm going to pick up some concealer, and we're going to carve out the inner corner of our eye. It's not going to be a full cut crease, or half cut crease is what people are calling it. It's just going to be carving the inner corner just a bit to get a little more dimension and a little more intensity from the shadow we're about to place. So I'm picking up a new concealer brush. I'm going to clean it off a little because there was a little bit of product on there. And we're going to grab our setting spray, and we're going to go ahead and wet that a little bit. We're going to pick up our 350 palette, and there's a shimmery shadow that's very frosty, very light. And we're going to use that, and we're going to place it in the corner, in the inner corner of our eye. Right in there, just pack it on. That's why we're using a concealer brush. This will help with the transition of the eye that we're building, and it will also help us open up the eye just a little bit more. I'm going to go ahead and pick up a bronzier color after this, and we're going to put that bronzy shimmer color right after that lightness. There we go. And we're just going to use that shimmer color kind of to blend that black to brown to light effect. Just make sure everything's nice and blended. Just going to use my big fluffy blending brush, make sure everything's blended together. Make sure we're not over blending because we don't want it to get muddy. Pick up a little more of that taupe color, set our brow bone, and make sure everything else blends out nicely. That completes our shadow. We're going to go ahead and move on to our eyeliner. We're going to use the e.l.f. liner in Jet Black. We're going to carve out the wing. Once the wing is in place, we're just going to fill in and then repeat to the other side. Make sure your wing is nice and your liner's nice and thick, thick enough so that when we place the lash, we don't lose the definition of the liner. And make sure it's filled in all the way and there's no signs of skin showing. Once we get that going, we're going to go ahead and move on to face. That's the Becca Champagne Pop Highlighter. But first, we're going to go ahead and dust off the excess powder that's under our eyes. Get that going. I'm going to use the same buffing brush I used to diffuse my contour. And again, I'm going to pick up the Dior Blush. I don't know what shade it's in. It's a refill and I didn't have my thing to put it in, so I don't remember the shade color. But we're going to place it right on the apples of our eyes and work it back into our contour. Okay, now we are going to pick up our highlighting brush and just get that glow going. Yes, come through glow. Just going to make sure that cheekbone's nice and glowy. Make sure it is noticeable. We're going to put a little bit on the tip of our nose, down the bridge just a bit, and make sure that we're placing the highlight right where the highest points of the light hit. It's all about placement. We don't want to over glow the face, if not we'll look oily. We're going to go ahead and move on to the lip. This is BH Cosmetics lip liner in Rouge. We're going to overline on the lip just to create a fuller lip effect. You can go as big and bold as you'd like. I go right above my lip line just because I already have pretty big lips, and going a little over it just makes them look a lot plumper, a lot fuller. Once we get that lip line going, we're going to move on to adding the lipstick. The lipstick I'm going in right now is from the Blackmail Vice palette from Urban Decay. It's the shade 714. And then I'm picking up Blackmail and ombreing the lip. I'm using it on the outer corners and kind of working it in, just deepening that lip out in its perimeters, kind of matching that lip liner. Getting these darker outer corners and lip line with a lighter, brighter red is really going to create a very predominant lip, kind of plump, kind of pushed out. Using the excess on my concealer brush kind of just to carve around the bottom lip, just to create that nice nice line effect. We're gonna curl the lash and get started on some lashes. Lashes of your choice are always great. Once the lashes are put on, we're going to set our face, and that concludes our look. Thank you for joining me today. Don't forget to subscribe. This is the final look. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Give me a thumbs up, kisses. Love you guys. Next time, subscribe. Bye.